Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Awesemo.com live before lock show, where we break down the day in daily fantasy sports and all the magic therein. I'm Chris Spags, joined today by the baseball savant himself, Jake Hari. Jake, how's it going?
It's going well. Baseball Savant's doing well. Shout out to the guys over there. Yeah, it's a good slate. I don't know what else to say, man. It's just a good slate. A lot of hitting, a lot of a okay amount of pitching. Nothing special, but yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a better slate than yesterday. Yesterday's short slate was not the best, both in terms of entertainment and options. But we're trying to make it work. Today we have 14 games. We also have a low ball thing, which I was just trying to read up on before we got on the air, and I did not accomplish that. But I'll do that while we're on the air, while Jake talks. Because Jake, right now, I'm going to put you on the spot. And who are your top stacks of the day thus far? Are you playing a bunch of lineups today, or are you doing a single?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm playing a bunch of lineups. I'm just trying this out. I'm just trying things out. So it's pretty cool. MME is frustrating.
Isn't it all?
It's not the whole you just put in 150 and then collect your money. It's definitely there's an art to it, and I'm trying to figure out that art. I've been a single entry player for a while, most of the NHL season and stuff. So it's quite a bit of a change, but it's fun. So all right, top stacks of the night you wanted? Top stacks?
Yeah, let's go top stacks.
Yeah, okay, so I think Oakland, you got to start with them. I think they're going to be one of the chalkier stacks of the night, and for good reason against Matt Moore. Who else do we have here? I like the Mets a lot. I mentioned them. Me and Josh, or I forgot to talk about them on the MLB strategy video earlier today, and then I just sort of was scrolling through all the games and realized it. But I like the Mets lefties, especially those top four. Against Alex Cobb, I just don't really respect Cobb as a pitcher. And I should say those top five: Nimmo, Cabrera, Conforto, Todd Frazier, and Jay Bruce. But I don't even mind going with Plawecki or Adrian Gonzalez if you're five-man stacking, which I will have a lot of Mets stacks. Let's see, where else? Okay, so you got the Red Sox. I like them. Bullpen game for Detroit, so that's just appealing. Detroit is one of the bottom five bullpens in the MLB. Huh. I don't know. Those are the main. Oh, the Angels. Yeah, I like the Angels. Another bullpen game here for the Royals. If Detroit's a bottom five bullpen, the Royals might be the worst bullpen in all of the MLB. I think they're the lowest or the highest xFIP, and then they're in the bottom five in a bunch of other categories that we deem pretty important as a company. So yeah, dude, there's like 4 or 5. Oh, I didn't mention the Indians. I like the Indians as well. I think that's my 5th one. Did I mention the Yankees? Whatever. So there's a handful.
You got a lot.
Yeah, there's a handful of stacks that I really like, and I'm just sort of zeroing in on them, mini stacking some other teams, but nothing crazy. It's the Mets, it's the Indians, it's the Yankees, it's the Red Sox, and it's the Oakland A's.
So, okay, let's talk about the Mets real fast. Dropkick 24 in the chat's bringing him up. I actually currently have Brandon Nimmo on my lineup, too. I thought he looked really good. What's making you target the Mets? What's making them jump out to you? I mean, because I was actually on them first. I got off them for another lower-owned stack, which I guess we'll talk about in a second. But the Mets, what's so appealing to you about that matchup?
Yeah, so really both hands, but especially lefties are teeing off against Alex Cobb this entire season. He's been a little bit better of late as far as results go, but I'm not really seeing much that's changed for him. And the Mets, as bad as they are against lefties, they're pretty solid against right-handed pitching this year. So like Nimmo, Cabrera, Conforto, and Bruce, and even Adrian Gonzalez, all hitting the ball, or they all have over a 40% hard hit rate. That may have changed. I haven't updated my numbers over the past couple days, so don't hate me if someone's at 39.8%. But you get the picture. They're hitting righties very, very hard, and Cobb gives up a lot of hard contact, doesn't really strike guys out. And I think he's going to have a hellish time going through those top 3 and 4 out of 5 lefties to start. So, yeah, I really, really like the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, Nimmo jumps out in particular. A pretty big sample size. 411 on base percentage, 210 isolated power. BABIP's up there too. So I mean, he looks really good. Conforto too. I mean, another guy who looks pretty good. Todd Frazier, do you have any of him tonight? Returns to the lineup.
Oh yeah, I'll have some Todd Frazier. Just because I'm going to be stacking up, and Frazier's probably one of the least owned guys I have, and it's just because I like a lot of different guys at third base. So it's not because I don't like Frazier, but in like full 5-man stacks, I'll have a bunch of Frazier.
Yeah, the Chubster is in the house in chat, so if you want to go say hi to Josh, our other live stream partner, and Jake's MLB strategy video pal, you can say hi to the Chubster in the chat. It's a Chubster chat night. And of course tomorrow, by the way, just so we promoted a little in advance, we are having Osmo on at 6:15 Eastern. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I also have to schedule with you the other video, but we'll talk about that offline. We're doing the Q&A thing with him, or the round table.
Okay.
But yeah, we will have Osmo on the live stream where you can ask your questions. We'll obviously throw some his way as well. So tune in tomorrow, 6:15. We'll have him on the show. Also, Jake answered the question yesterday about his height. Jake is a round 6 feet. I guess you're not around physically 6 feet, but you're 6 feet on the dot.
You don't know that. You haven't seen my lower half. No.
You're just like a fucking clump on the bottom.
Who's saying I'm 5'9"? Someone's saying
Mike M.
Oh, okay. I'm about 6 feet and a half inch. So 6'1", if people ask.
There you go. That's around where I am. I'm a little bit closer to 6'1", but 6'1's easier. I'm not going 6 feet and 3/4 like I'm a fucking 10-year-old trying to look bigger to his
Well, in
pal.
high school, I had to get that program listing. And high school wasn't that long ago for me, so I'm still in that mindset. Just trying to get that extra inch,
Yeah, no, it's true of every man out there. Thoughts on Urania? Actually, so we're still talking stacks. Let me talk about my stack, who, Jake, I don't think you mentioned. The Cubs, I like a lot tonight. We have them as being pretty lowly owned. A not bad total. Like, it's sort of in that next tier of over-unders where the team total is like, it's not the Yankees, it's not the Red Sox, but it's in that neighborhood. The Cubs versus righties, top in the league in terms of on-base percentage, good power, not striking out terribly. I just like that matchup. To me, looked really good, and I'm sort of surprised. I mean, I guess there's so many options. There's like a lot of good stack options. But the Cubs being sort of under-owned is appealing to me. What do you think about the Cubs?
Yeah, I think they're fine. So I
like Eflin a little.
I respect Eflin. So I don't like him in that I want to play Eflin tonight, but I do respect what he's done. So he's been able to strike guys out on both sides, mostly right-handers. And then the Cubs, it's not like they have like the Mets where you're going to get 4 out of 5 lefties. So I just think Eflin can be okay against these righties. So the Cubs didn't make my cut as a main stack, but I mean I might have like some Rizzo Schwarber, Rizzo Hayward or something like that. I just don't feel comfortable playing a ton of righties against Eflin.
Okay, yeah, to me, I don't think Eflin's as great of a play. I think the total's gone down a little bit for the Cubs, but yeah, to me, like Zobrist, Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras, Schwarber, like that group looks particularly good to me in the matchup. I don't have the same regard for Eflin personally, and I think it's a nice game at Chicago, nice weather.
It's actually kind of
sort
cool.
of on.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So overall, I think that's maybe not the perfect end, but still close enough. I like the matchup, and I think that's where I wanted to be tonight.
Okay.
Let's talk about pitching. What pitchers are you going with the most so far?
Yeah, I have. Let's see. I think I have 4 pitchers. So okay, Max Scherzer. Do we really need to talk about him that much? I mean, just an exceptional play. Like, I mean, if I could fit Scherzer in every lineup, I would do it because I think he's a pretty safe bet for 28 to 32 fantasy points, somewhere in there. And he's got 45-point upside. Like, he's just nuts. It's a good matchup for him. So I probably already talked too much about him. I like Newcomb as sort of a mid-tier pitcher, 9,200. He's just done a really good job against righties. And then the Padres project to have a lot of righties in their lineup. Kyle Hendricks I left in my crunch, but it's more just to see how much he would have gotten for me. So I won't end up on a ton of Hendricks. I capped him pretty low just because He's not someone that I particularly love, but I just needed to get another pitcher in that price range. Manaya's got decent upside against Texas. It's a really dangerous spot for him, but I think he does have some upside, especially against these lefties that they have in the lineup. Joe Musgrove is a guy I like a ton against the Dodgers, and then Jason Vargas as my like dumpster dive 5K pitcher that I'll have with Scherzer and some Kluber shares. I forgot to mention Kluber. He's the last guy.
So for me, I'm not going with Scherzer tonight. I mean, obviously, I'm not doing as many lineups as you. I'm just doing a couple. But I think for me, Mike V asking 3 best plays on the slate, hands down. That's a little bit too much information to single out Mike V. But for me, I would say like the thing that Scherzer worries me a little bit. Like the Rays aren't terrible versus righties. I mean, Scherzer is obviously a unique pitcher. He's very good. But they're fourth in the league in on base percentage. They're not a lot of power to worry about, but I think they could do enough where maybe I think you're right that Scherzer's going to get what he's going to get. He's going to get in that 25 to 30 range. But at that price point, like I think you can get somebody who's cheaper who's going to get you something comparable. So like I like Hendricks actually. I think Hendricks is in a pretty good matchup. Phillies versus righties, one of the actually the worst K rate in the league this year so far. So to me, I would be pretty comfortable with that. And then I'm going Urania tonight just because I think Urania is interesting. I could see the logic for Musgrove. The Dodgers are so good versus righties, and I think that worries me a lot. Like I actually wanted to stack them at one point, but I ended up going with the Cubs instead. I don't know. Like Musgrove's been really good, and ever since Josh kind of hyped him up on when he came back from injury, he's looked really competent. But Dodgers have been hot, and I worry about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Musgrove's like some slam dunk. I just think he's been really good, and it's an okay matchup. Maybe not the strikeout upside of some other guys. I think Manaya maybe has some more strikeout upside and someone in that similar price range. But after Scherzer, if I can, I think Musgrove will be my second highest exposure for pitchers.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. Like that matchup to me, I could see why on the Vegas totals. I like both those pitchers, but in this matchup, I just feel like it might be one that kind of gets away. I don't know what we have ownership for those guys, but like I assume Stripling should be fairly owned after he's been pretty good like the last few outings.
It's just the price for Stripling. I think that's going to keep people off of him. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have. Let's see. Are you stacking first team 4-man and second team 4-man? I'm stacking currently 5-2-1. Actually, did we talk about the Red Sox at all? I don't know if we blew by that.
I just mentioned them. I think they're going to be pretty shocky.
So yeah, let's talk about the Red Sox a little more length. I have 2 Red Sox in my lineup right now. They're going against the relief pitcher who's also very not good. So that's a pretty combustible pairing of things. Like they and the Yankees both, I feel like, are going to be very popular spots to target. So I want to have some exposure, I think to one of those lineups. And then for me, the Red Sox just graded out a little better. But like JD Martinez looks fantastic. I think Bogarts, some of those other guys. Oh, there we go. And the Chubster's home run pick is in, and it is Rafael Devers of the Red Sox I'm talking about right now. So Chubster's on the same page at least that perhaps they have a good matchup. Yeah, I guess I won't go JD Martinez. That's a little too on the nose.
Do you have your home run pick? Because I don't have mine just yet. But
I don't yet. I was so disappointed in J.R. Murphy yesterday. I really thought he was in a good spot. Such a kick in the dick after that fantastic Matt Olson call.
He'll probably hit one tonight against what's his face, Bumgarner.
Oh, really? You think Bumgarner's gonna get rocked?
I don't think Bumgarner's gonna get rocked. I don't really have interest in him as a play, pitch count wise, and all that other stuff. I mean. And the Diamondbacks have been really awesome against lefties lately. So I don't think it's as good of a matchup as some might think.
At that price, it's a little tough to play him at like a 70. Reportedly, he's going to have like a 70 pitch count, maybe 75, but somewhere in that range. He's looked good in his rehab starts so far. But, I don't see the reason to pay up for him there. I would actually have a hard time paying up for him in my current lineup construction anyway. But I'll make my home run pick since Josh made his. I'm going with Brandon Nimmo. He actually looks the best to me overall. For Mike V, who's asking, he might be one of my favorite plays on the slate. I just think he's in a good spot, hitting leadoff. He's been killing it lately, just ripping cover off the ball a lot. I'm in on Nimmo. for home run.
I like that call actually a lot. So I won't take someone from the Mets. Mine would probably have been Nimmo, Conforto, or Bruce. I think one or two of those guys have really good chances at hitting homers. I will go with Eugenio Suarez, and
I like that call too.
This guy he's just the GOAT against lefty pitching. Like, he's just go on FanGraphs, look at his splits against lefties, and you will want to play Eugenio Suarez for 5,100. Good park. I respect Freeland actually as a pitcher, so I don't want to stack against him. I think Duvall's fine, but Suarez is the main guy. I'll have a bunch of exposure to him, and I don't think he's going to be that highly owned. Let's see what we have him at. Yeah, so
I completely agree with you. I think that's a smart call.
I will be way, way over the field on Suarez, and according to our projections, we've got him under 5%, so that is really, really nice.
Yeah, at one point I looked at the red stack, and I thought, yeah, Suarez jumped out to me. His price is a little high, I think, at 5,100. But yeah, as you said, versus lefty, he's been stellar. What are his numbers? Yeah, he's hitting right now. Oh, he's getting on base almost 400.
Yeah.
Isolated power 260. Striking out a little bit above league average, but who cares? Like, with that kind of power and that kind of a success rate. Yeah, I think if you're gonna play Reds, like, I would assume Votto, Suarez, Duvall. Actually, let's talk a little bit about the Lowball thing, because one of the guys who was on the Lowball game is in this lineup too. Scooter Gennett, who I think is a possible play. But are you playing the Lowball thing on DraftKings?
I'm not. And it's mostly just because I didn't have time to look at the scoring and all that. I mean, I could probably put in a lineup, but so Gennett, right? He's 5,100 or 5K against a lefty, right? So lefty matchup. Yeah, I would figure that would be a good play. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on the low ball?
It's interesting. I mean, we have an article up, which is actually free on Osmo.com. Obviously, a site that you should be a premium member of. But if you're not, go check it out, where Osmo kind of talks about it. And he also provides a spreadsheet that you guys can use if you want. I don't really know. I haven't played this type of. Obviously, I haven't played this type of slate before. I think they had it last year in MLB, but I wasn't playing MLB DFS last year. Yeah, Osmo's article goes in a little more depth, where it's pretty helpful about how to make the worst lineup, saying that it's not worth focusing on players who strike out. It's sort of worth looking at some other things about, I guess actually no. Yeah, you get additional points for hitting into double plays, striking out, an additional bonus for striking out 3 times in a game. But I guess that's hard to target. So you just want to target the better matchups or worse matchups, as it may be. And Gennett, to me, looked like one player who's interesting. There's also a couple guys in there who are hurt or who are not in the lineup. Marte and I think Judge are both in there. And you could play those guys and just get zeros, but they're actually, I thought that might be a logic, but apparently it's just better to have guys in the lineup so they're doing things that get you points. Even if they strike out once, it's better to have that guy instead of Judge putting up a zero. So there's some weird stuff there. It's a pretty big tournament on DraftKings. I think it's like a $5 entry for a $10,000 grand prize or first place prize. So if you want to check that out, dip your toe in the waters of failure, like sometimes we do inadvertently here. Now you can do it for profit. What a joy.
Yeah.
Jake, you don't know failure, so that's why. You're the baseball savant. You couldn't possibly succeed.
I know failure. I've been playing DFS long enough to know failure.
But you know what? You're still the savant at the end of the day, and that's all we care about. Any weather concerns tonight? Any games that you're avoiding or maybe a little afraid of?
I don't see anything super alarming just yet, but I'll do another quick check. I haven't been at my house for the last little while, so let me check and see if there's anything we need to keep.
Look at Mr. Leaves' house. La-di-da.
I know. It's crazy.
What a fancy boy.
Once a day I'll leave my house, but I don't know. Everything looks okay. Just looking at a few different sources at stuff. I don't know. Do you have anything? Is someone asking about a specific game that they want?
Oh yeah, just people were asking about Cincinnati, but I thought you might have a general weather. Let's see. Nothing jumping out as particularly bad. Cincinnati game is maybe some risk, but
it's cooler on the East Coast, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. It looks like it clears out by what game time should be. So maybe there'd be a slight delay, but I think that's the only game with any risk at all.
Yeah. So if Suarez gets rained out, apologies, but I think he'll probably be okay.
That would be a downer.
And then it's really hot in Texas, so that's why it's the increased run total. Just hot weather is better hitting weather, and so you probably know that if you've been playing DFS for even a couple months. But yeah, that's the one game that's going to have a lot of ownership, I would assume.
Musgrove or Minaya? Do you have any interest at all in Minaya tonight? I mean, that total is pretty tough. Actually, we haven't talked about the A's at all, right? We have them to be projected as one of the better value stacks. I'm not playing them, though. I mean, I guess the weather is a reason why that total's so high, but neither team really graded out that spectacularly for me.
I mean, I love the A's. I absolutely love them. I'm worried about their ownership. It's 14 games, so I don't think it's going to be that huge of an issue, but anytime you get guys up around like 20% on a 14-game slate, hitters, it's always I always wonder, are these guys being overowned for the type of spot they're in compared to a team with a similar total like the Yankees or the Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I would absolutely trust the Red Sox or Yankees more. I don't see any reason to I mean, I don't know. Like the A's, obviously there is a reason to play them. But if they're going to be highly owned, like we're currently projecting, I think like Simeon to be like one of the higher owned players on the slate. I just don't see that. I don't see that as a thing like I need, especially on a slate this big.
Is that our that's Tom in there. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Simeon projected at 27% right now. Yeah, there you go. So I think that's kind of concerning to me. Like I just don't see the upside in that game. I mean, not that Moore is a spectacular pitcher and he's going to do anything great tonight, but I think everyone's expecting him to bomb out, and he's not that terrible, is he?
He's
pretty terrible.
He's pretty bad.
Terrible.
And he's pretty bad against lefties. So, like, I would like Oakland better if they had some more lefties in there, because people wouldn't, no one likes stacking up a bunch of lefties against a lefty, but Moore is actually just as bad against lefties, if not worse. So that would lower the ownership of the A's stack as a whole. So people just see lefty on righty and they just want to stack it up. But I love Olsen, and he's the only lefty in there. I like all these guys individually, but just worried about their ownership relative to the field.
Yeah, I agree. And I just think there are also other bad pitchers to target. I mean, if you're looking just solely on a grading perspective, I mean, Lyles, obviously we've talked about Lewicki. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Even Vargas, not the best. Cobb, we've discussed at length, because we both tend to like the Mets tonight. So there's enough other guys to target there where I feel like that game, if you're going to have over-owned guys who are maybe not the most reliable chance of success, I think there might be some logic in fading them. But that is a big total. That is a big Vegas total on both sides, though.
Yeah. What else?
Matt Moore's eyebrows are the worst, according to the Klein 25. I can't confirm that. I don't know Matt Moore's eyebrows offhand. Unfortunately, we don't have the Josh screen where we could pull it up and we could all bathe in Matt Moore's eyebrows together. But if you want to individually search Matt Moore eyebrows, please do that so you can confirm.
I've seen him pitch before, like recently. I haven't noticed the eyebrows. I don't know, are they bad?
They're a little. You know what? They're a little weird. It's because he has like long eyelashes too, I think. So they look sort of. He's got. He looks like the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Joe Latrulia, like the sidekick.
I don't know that reference.
I don't know if you know that. Yeah. Well, somebody else out there might see it. But yeah, weird eyebrows. All right, you're right, Decline. I'll give you that. Any Braves tonight? Any interest in them at all? I'm actually curious to see what you say about this.
So I like. Well, the lineup's not out, but assuming it's a normal lineup, I like Albies and Freeman. The problem is the park. So I think you can get to those top four if you want to stack it up. Lyles has been pretty good, or at least he's been okay. It's just a park thing, and then I don't know. I mean, I just like so many other spots better, but I like the Braves in general. So anytime you can get them at low ownership, I think it's something to at least take a look at.
I've advocated for Lyles before, and this matchup though actually was like I think is a pretty interesting spot to go with the Braves. Lyles' whip has been like going up pretty high. I think over the course of like his last few starts, he's just been he's been okay at times, but I think he's also had some pretty bad moments. Freeman, like you mentioned, I think looks really good. I think there are a couple bats on that side who might be interesting tonight. Again, like I don't know that it's worth stacking up. I don't know if there's enough offense there, especially in that park. But I think there might be a logic in having a one-off of that team.
Yeah.
And if it were my choice, I'd say Freeman.
I think, like a 3-man stack with Albies, Freeman, and Ciarte, I think, or Albies, Freeman, Markakis, I think would be your best bet. So I don't even know if I have any of that. I haven't looked to see if I have any Braves exposure, but I doubt I have much.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Any love for a Cardinals stack? I'm going against the Cardinals tonight, so no, but there are a couple of okay bats there. Jake, what do you think about the Cardinals tonight?
Yeah, I think they're fine. I mostly like lefties against Urena, but just another one of those teams that's going to go under-owned against a pitcher that we don't necessarily respect overall. I mean, Urena gives up hard contact to both sides. He strikes out a fair amount of righties, so that's a little concerning for the stack. But the price, I think, is right for the Cardinals, especially Fowler and Carpenter. So those are the two guys I'd key in on, but I don't really have an issue with the Cardinals stack if you're in love with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more on the other side of it, where I'd rather play Urena. I think he's in an okay spot. I've enjoyed rostering him before. Obviously, there is a downside. He does get rocked sometimes, but in this matchup, I don't really see an issue with him. Cardinals, bottom 10 in the league in terms of on-base percentage versus righties. Not above league average K rate, not super high, but not great. So actually, I'm pretty okay with Urena, but I think there are a couple Cardinals if you wanted to play them that you could play if you think Urena is that bad.
For sure.
Yeah. How about targeting Estrada tonight? The Yankees obviously pretty overpriced by virtue of being the Yankees. No Aaron Judge tonight. You thinking about the Yankees? And also, how do you think the dome being up affects them?
Well, I mean, relative to the weather, I know it was colder in Toronto. Well, it was like in the 60s when I checked last night, but roof being closed probably helps hitters for tonight. So, I don't know. I mean, I want to target Estrada. I'm going to have a bunch of Yankees. I think they're a really awesome stack, 1 through pretty much 9. I'm not the biggest fan of Brett Gardner and Gregorius outside of Yankee Stadium, but it's just a really, really deep lineup, and the pitcher that gives up a ton of fly balls, ton of hard contact to righties especially. So no Judge hurts a little bit, but still one of my top 3 stacks for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think tonight I'm more inclined to fade the Yankees just because I mentioned I like the Red Sox more. I think there are some lower owned stacks to get there. And then, Judge being out, it kind of opens up the lineup a little bit. But that said, there are guys who look good on that side, and it's hard to question the Yankees, especially going against Estrada, who gives up, I think, one of the worst barrels per plate appearance, really bad exit velocity. A lot of that stuff that could get out of hand fast for Estrada. But yeah, I don't know. Tonight I'm okay going against the Yankees. Yeah. I'm okay with it.
I mean, could he be Mike Fiers and pitch okay and just enough to be annoying? Yeah, he could do that. I don't think it's very likely that he does that here. I think the Yankees are going to hit the ball. They're going to put it in play, and it's going to be hit really hard. So, yeah.
Let's see. Would you go? Eovaldi had that one start. Peter Donato was talking about him in there. I assume people might see that one start and be tempted to play him. Was he somebody that you would consider at all tonight?
Like at first look, he wasn't really someone I had a lot of interest in, but sort of as the day goes, like I don't want all my ownership to be tied up in Musgrove and Manaea, even though I have it right now. So I can see going to Eovaldi, especially after that one good start. Pitch count's a little concerning, and then the matchup isn't good against the Nationals. You get to go up against Harper and Soto and Matt Adams, who all crush righties. So there's a lot of reasons not to play Eovaldi. That's why I didn't end up on him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think, it's not necessarily a terrifying matchup, but it can get out of hand for Eovaldi, and I don't know that there's enough. I mean, I'd rather go somewhere else, but let me actually look up Osmo's odds of him being the best pitcher of the day. If you're a premium member, Osmo has his premium, or is actually his perfect pitcher percentage. It says a lot of P's. His premium perfect pitcher percentage article is up on the site right now. in which he breaks down the statistical likelihood of each pitcher being the most successful on the slate. And he has Eovaldi as a 2% chance of being the most successful DraftKings pitcher on the slate. So,
okay,
yeah, not great. Jose Urena also at 2%, but you know what? He's $1,500 cheaper, so I'll take that. Look at the bright side here. How about Anthony DiCiafani? I feel like he's at a price which might end up working for a lot of people's lineups and kind of an unknown quantity in today's slate. What would you do with him?
Yeah, just that unknown. I don't really want anything to do with him if he's going to be decently owned. So I'd rather take a chance on Manaea or someone near his price range, or Vargas, go all the way down to Vargas. I just don't have any confidence that DeSclafani's going to do anything special here.
All right. I'm sort of with you on that. I think there's a shot, and I also feel like there tends to be a decent variance moment for some of these guys coming off of an injury where there's no track record. And if you look at the stats for him, let's see, he doesn't grade out terribly. I mean, he's right in the middle of the pack for a lot of things. In terms of WHIP, he would be in the upper 10 of this slate. Whether we have 15 games or 14 games rather. Not a bad xFIP, not a bad K rate. I don't expect the moon for him, but I think if you're trying to be contrarian, trying to get some different lineups, I don't mind having some exposure to him.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, like you said, we saw it with Eovaldi last start. The guy comes off and he just has a really nice start, and then after that, maybe not always go as well. So. Spencer Singleton, he gave up 10 runs in 19 innings in the minors. He also had a pretty decent year last year in the majors. So what's going to happen? Soto or Adam Jones in a DK GPP? Soto or Adam? Soto.
All right. I don't have any debate on that. Scherzer and Hendricks will be a 75% owned combo on DK. I mean, Scherzer's going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate, I think, by a fair amount. I don't think combined they'll be 75%. I think it's going to be tough to get both of those guys in their price-wise. I think you got to go down a little bit on Hendricks if you're going to. I mean, unless you're going with the A's stack, which we also don't like. So I don't know.
I don't think we don't like it. I mean,
well, no, not don't like, but don't like from a game theory perspective.
Right. 14-game slate, you're going to get pretty decent chalk on a team that, I mean, did Osmo do his perfect stack thing today?
No, it was just pitcher today.
Yeah, okay. So I wish we would have done the hitter one today. I would have liked that a lot, but I don't know.
Oh, old Landon Jake, tell the boss what to do. Give him some work.
No, just because I like where I'm at for pitching.
I agree, Jake. Show him his boss.
Yeah. No, he's boss. But just relative to their chances of being one of the top 2 or 3 stacks, I don't think that we like them in that sense.
What about Carlos Martinez playing tonight? Sort of interesting spot. I mean, he grades out pretty well, I think. I don't know about the price. Actually, I don't know what we're grading him as a value. But what do you think about Martinez? He seems like a guy you would like, I think. That's my opinion on him.
I would if I thought that he was going to throw near 100 pitches. So it's his first start in over a month, or about a month, 4 weeks, I think, almost exactly. He went 4 innings in his start 5 days ago, in his rehab start, and only went 63 pitches. So it takes a while for these guys to get stretched out, a couple starts. And, I mean, an estimate for pitches thrown tonight, I think, would be 80 or 85 is what I said this morning. And I think I'm sticking with that. So for 11,000, it's a good matchup, but I just don't think he's got a ton of upside for that price.
It's a high price. I mean, on our rankings, we have him as an E in value, which is not good. It's not an E for excellent. It's an E for egregious, perhaps, or erroneous if you make that choice. I think he's not a bad play, and I wouldn't even mind paying a higher price for him on a lesser slate. But with this many options, I just don't see the point in going there. I mean, unless you want to be incredibly contrarian and pay a lot to differentiate your lineup. But with 14 games, I think there are better approaches than that for tonight. Somebody's asking about an Orioles stack going against Jason Vargas. Again, Jason Vargas is a guy we talked about a fair amount who sadly seemed like he should be giving a lot of runs, and he's actually had a couple of decent performances out of his last 2 or 3 games. What would you stack Orioles tonight? Do you have any interest in that?
I mean, so I don't hate stacking against Vargas. Like, I don't think Vargas is any sort of lock to have a good start here, or even an okay start. So the reason I like Vargas is because of his price and because he's missed a decent amount of bats. His first 3 starts were disasters, especially 2 out of those 3 gave up 6 and 9 earned runs. So has sort of weighted his numbers to be as bad as they are, because he's only made, I think, 6 starts. I don't know. I mean, you could definitely stack against him. He gives up a bunch of hard contact to righties. So that's usually a guy I'll at least consider stacking against, and he could have a disaster start again. So that's what you're looking for when you're looking for a stack.
Yep, I agree. I think that makes sense. And again, should be fairly low owned too, so there is a logic in going there. Again, but like not one of my more popular stacks, not one I would be dying for, but if you want to get a stack in there who has some serious upside, I think that is one that would have some. Nimmo Conforto stack. We've discussed the Mets a couple times already, but we agree the Mets are a sneaky stack tonight where I'm interested in, and Nimmo is my home run pick. So I'm double backing that up. I'm all in on the Mets.
All in on the Mets? You are? So you're
not all in. I'm all in on Brandon Nimmo, actually. That's all I'm in on.
Yeah, dude, I love Nimmo, Conforto, Bruce. Those are 3 of my highest owned players that I'm looking at right now. So I'm with you there, man. I love some Mets, and I hate Alex Cobb. That's most of it.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Jake, who are your overall top 3 pitchers tonight?
Do they mean like just who am I using, or?
Yeah, I guess. Or who do you think is the best?
So my top 3 in exposure are Max, Vargas, and Musgrove.
Oh, wow. Alan Brock just guessed it. That's actually kind of...
Well, yeah, those are on my spotlight pitchers from this morning.
So they didn't change for you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have more Musgrove than I expected to this morning, but I mean, I'm there with Vargas. I've just taken the chance at 5K that he can be okay here. That is an
do you have any info?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just looking at the same thing you were. So Corey asks, do you have any info to back up the 80 to 85 pitch count for C-Mart? I don't know that it's a hard pitch count. I haven't seen anything come out for the Cardinals saying he has a hard pitch count, and these things are sort of fluid situations. If a guy is throwing a really nice start, he might get up to 5 or 10 more pitches than what they wanted him to. He threw 63 5 days ago. Usually add 10 or 15 pitches per start to get a guy stretched out. So I just don't see him going more than like 85 pitches, and he's not super efficient to start with. He struggles with walks, and for 11K, it is a good matchup, but I'm just really worried about the kind of upside that he actually has.
Are you worried about Musgrove now that the Pirates game is delayed? Why is it getting delayed? I don't see any weather concerns for it.
Here, let me check it, but I did see that it's delayed, but I think it was expected that they were going to have a quick delay and then play. But I will double check on that and see if anything else has popped up. Let's see.
Yeah, Moto Blinders has the game as green, so bad job, Moto Blinders.
Well, I mean, whatever. Here, let's see. That's why AccuWeather.com is a great source. You can double check. If you use Moto Blinders for your weather, that's great, but it doesn't hurt to double check yourself and see. Pizza part. Yeah, it looks like it's just a quick sell, and then that's it.
Okay. Quick little terrorist sell of rain, and we move forward. Good job. Good job, weatherman Jake.
Thank you. Yeah.
Not Jake, the weather savant. All right.
Yeah. Weather savant.
Let's see. Let's talk real quick about Kyle Hendricks again. I like him a lot tonight. I think he's a safe, like a pretty safe floor, pretty decent ceiling. I guess not Scherzer level, but kind of the next tier beyond that. What are your overall thoughts on Hendricks?
I think he's pretty safe in this matchup. The Phillies they're not a team we fear against right-hand pitching, especially with no Rhys Hoskins, just another power bat that's out of the lineup. So the weather, when you were talking about the Cubs hitters, I was saying that it's kind of cool there. That'll help Hendricks. Wind's blowing in. the wind in Wrigley affects the stadium as much as any stadium in the MLB. So a 10-mile-an-hour wind at your back for a pitcher that's pretty good is a nice help. So yeah, I think Hendricks is fine. I've got a very small amount of him. I'll be under the field, but he's just kind of one of those guys that I used in that price range to fill in for the lineups that I'm not using Musgrove or Manaea.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, to me, like, I think Hendricks is a pretty good play for all the reasons you listed too. And he's just been playing well. He's been playing a little bit above his pay grade. So, I mean, I guess there's maybe some concern with regression there. But I'm pretty content with playing Hendricks tonight. Thoughts again on Urania? Like the Jose Urania train is leaving the station, folks. But get on board. But Jake, what do you think about it?
About Urania?
Yeah, about Urania. Just in general in life and in the game tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I just like targeting lefties against him. So if I was ever going to play Urania, it would be against a righty-heavy lineup. So it would be a lineup like this, but it is a tough spot. It's really warm in St. Louis, 86 degrees. So I'm just concerned. There's a lot of power in this lineup, and it's not like he's some world beater against righties either. So, I mean, I get it. I respect the the Urania play, but I don't think it's some awful play for that price. But I just didn't end up on it for myself. I was able to do what I wanted with Vargas and Musgrove and these guys.
Oh, wait, hot take alert in the chat. Peter Donato suspects that the Rangers-A's game, which is currently projected to be the highest scoring game by Las Vegas, he projects it to be high scoring. Great advice in the chat. Yes, that is the highest scoring game according to Vegas. Yeah, we are not necessarily huge fans of that game, at least from a game theory perspective, given that ownership should be pretty high because Vegas is projecting that game to be so high scoring. The Rangers, we haven't talked that much about. We talked a little about Manaea, but if we were to stack the Rangers, what Rangers would you go to?
What Rangers would I go to? All right, let me pull up this lineup and make sure, because here we go. All right, so Beltre number 1. So that's the guy I would start with. I wouldn't have a Rangers stack if I can avoid it without Beltre in it. Falefa's fine, batting second. I don't really enjoy him as a hitter just yet, but Profar would be another guy I like for 3,500 on DK. And then Chirinos. So Chirinos and Beltre are above the rest of the guys for me. And then I would fill in with those guys that I talked about. I mean, you could play Gallo against whoever. He's just got huge power going up there to hit a home run pretty much every time. He's got more singles than home runs in his career, if that still holds up. I know that was a stat a few weeks ago, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Chirinos, somebody also stuck as a home run in the chat. Okay, I think it's our boy Greek King, who is a premium member. Chirinos actually does look pretty good to me as well. On base, 390. ISO power, 264. So it actually grades out the best for me out of that stuff, besides Beltre, who's getting on base, 424. So a lot of good stuff to like there. You know, if you do think that game is going to score out, I would actually be more inclined to play the Rangers. I think, like, I don't mind Manaea, but if I had to play a team, I think I'd play the Rangers over the A's. Like if I were stacking, I don't know, just from an ownership and like these guys looking, I think, better than some of the A's guys look perspective.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a case to be made to fade a team that's going to be as owned as we project the A's to be on a 14-game slate. So, especially with other good spots, like if this was like a slate like opening day where there was very few stacks that you wanted to roll out because everyone's rolling out their A's, then I get it. But just very healthy ownership. So I have some A's mini stacks and like one-offs, but I'm going to try to stay away from the full stack. And Olsen's probably my favorite guy on the A's lineup, just because I think he's going to be one of the lower owned guys, and I don't think he should be.
I agree. I mean, he's been hitting a lot of home runs recently, as we could talk about. I mean, Josh and I talked about it yesterday, but Olsen did hit 2 home runs the day that I predicted it, which completely overshadowed Josh's 1 home run, which is a pretty great feeling when you're emasculating the Chubster one home run at a time. Any love for Newcomb tonight? We talked about him a little earlier, but playing the Padres, obviously not a high strikeout team at a pitcher's park. I like Newcomb. Jake, your thoughts on Newcomb one more time?
Yeah, I like Newcomb. I wish I could get to more of him, but I'm either sort of paying up for Max or Kluber, or getting in that mid range with Musgrove and Hendricks and Manaea. So didn't end up with as much Newcomb as I like. 35%.
Yeah, I liked him at the beginning. I for the price though, I'd rather pay a little bit less. I mean, for me especially, like it was tight pricing getting some of the bigger bats in. So I think I would rather go down a little cheaper and go to Hendricks. But yeah, sure. Like Newcomb's okay. I mean, that matchup if you're going to play Newcomb is a Newcomb matchup where he can actually get some Ks. Get a little more than he probably deserves because that team will swing it a lot.
Who's saying that Chirinos is not on DK? Because I literally just put him into my lineup. He's on there.
All right, Zach Carpenter, figure it out.
Just look again, because he's a good play.
Look harder.
I mean, I like Manaea, so people are talking about Manaea in the chat. I like Manaea in that I think he'll be very low owned, and there are a handful of lefties in the lineup. So he's not safe by any means. He could be broken, like someone said. He could very well be broken, but I have to take that risk in some of my lineups for 7,700. Because I think he still has some decent strikeout stuff. And the Rangers will help you get strikeouts sometimes.
Peter Donato asking, will Madison Bumgarner be on a pitch count? The reports from Buster Olney and some of the local beat reporters are he is on a 70 to 75 pitch count. So that's the expectation. So we'll see if that comes true. But at that price, 70, 75 pitch is a little tough to go there, I think. Let's see. Anything else? Any good questions? Who do you think is the high-owned pitcher with the highest probability of failure tonight, Jake?
Didn't we have this question on Thursday? This was a good question.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back. Yeah. It's a recurring question.
Okay. Let me think about that. Highest owned pitcher. Well, let's go to our rankings. Like the first pitcher I think has a pretty good chance at failing. So, let me sort by SP.
Yes, all things you can do if you're an Osmo.com premium member. You can sign up for that, and you can make your prediction about who is going to be the highest owned pitcher to fail. Because you'll have all of our ownership projections right at your fingertips. So that's what Jake is doing right now. It's like a world of wonder right at your hands.
Well, I mean, I think Vargas has a pretty decent chance to fail. That being said, I'm well over the field with Vargas. In hopes that he's just okay, gives me double-digit DK points or maybe up to 15. I don't like Bumgarner, and I think he's going to be owned because of that total. I'm worried about the pitch count with him as well. And then just Arizona's been so good against lefties over the last month. They've got a 131 WRC+. They're top 3 in on-base percentage. And I don't think people know that. And, yeah, it's a bad park. Like, you can get lucky with hard contact and all that, but I'm not ready to jump on Bumgarner just yet. So that would be my pick.
Yeah, I would actually probably say Bumgarner too, just because again the pitch count is worrisome. I didn't realize Vargas is going to be the fourth owned, according to our projections, the fourth highest owned pitcher on the slate. I already don't love Vargas. I would say that him being that highly owned would make me doubly not happy with him. So I'll agree with your pick, and I agree with both your picks. I don't mind Keuchel. Kluber actually, what do you think about Kluber in general? Because Kluber I wanted to like, and I just couldn't get there as like a Scherzer pivot. The price not working for me, and obviously him being so highly owned, not the best. But what do you think about his options tonight?
No, I think Kluber's a phenomenal play. He's got a bunch of strikeout upside in this matchup against the Brewers. He's just not max, so that's my issue. And you can make a case just because of ownership. Hope Max gives up a home run or two or something like that, or can't get all the strikeouts we need. But you're only getting $700 of a discount. If it was like we've seen him on some of these slates where Kluber's like 10-8, then I would be very interested in that, because that's the difference between like getting min-salary guys on DK and getting a couple big bats instead, just for that one pitcher swap. So it's just, I have a really tough time not fitting Scherzer in. He's just insanely good, and he's got slate wrecking upside here.
All right. So, all right. I still think the Rays are competent enough that it might not be worth it for Scherzer. Like more along the lines of there'll be another pitcher who is like, let's say within, just given the price totals within 5 points of him, and I think that's going to make Scherzer less valuable than he would be. That's it. If you want the safety of Scherzer and you like a stack that's cheaper, I think that's when you go Scherzer. But to me, I'm okay fading him tonight. But let's see. Are you okay with all 3 outfield spots with Mets on DK?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a handful of lineups like that. I like them all individually. I think I would rank them in the order of the batting order. So I'd go Nimmo, Conforto, then Bruce. But I love all 3 of them. It's hard for me not to like a power lefty against Cobb. So, yeah, no issue with that.
Luke Kemna, I'm with you on the strategy of just taking Nimmo. I have him as a one-off. I think Nimmo's in the best spot, and I don't mind a stack either. Like I think there are a couple guys there, like you mentioned, Conforto looks really good. I don't mind Cabrera either at second base, but I think Nimmo is just the best play to me on that side by far, and obviously him hitting leadoff doesn't hurt much either. Would you, if you were doing a 5-man stack on the Mets, would you finish with Jay Bruce or the catcher? I assume you're going to go Jay Bruce.
I mean, it depends. Like, so he's probably got Nimmo and Conforto in there already. So, or he or she, I don't know. I didn't see you ask the question, anyways. So if you really love an expensive outfielder and you want to just fill in your catcher spot or whatever, then you can put in Plawecki. But in a vacuum, I would go Bruce.
People ask why I'm sitting in the dark. I'm sitting in actually a very well-lit room. The issue is that the room is too well-lit because there's sunlight behind me and the lights on, and they're not contrasting well. We have to actually upgrade my setup at some point, especially now that I'm doing this full-time for these guys. So hopefully soon. But yeah,
we should get you a nice
Los Angeles is very sunny.
A nice backdrop, a nice Osmo.com backdrop for all of us.
Yeah. So it's a nice step and repeat thing. We'll look like fancy professional gentlemen.
Yes.
But yeah, not unfortunately, no, I'm not in the dark. I'm in the most sunlight imaginable. So same effect. That's funny how cameras work. Cameras, that's actually like an ICP thing. Cameras, how do they work?
Harper or JD? Who would you pick?
Yeah, I was going to say. To me, it's JD.
Yeah, it's probably JD for me too.
I mean, just going against a really bad pitcher who won't have the arm to go very long, might get to the bullpen. Dylan R, there is a shade up. You know what? Fuck you guys. You guys don't have sunlight anyway because you're on the East Coast. So sorry. And bathe in all my sunlight. Ooh, look at it. Nah. But no, there's a shade over the window. It's just fucking just doesn't do anything. It's too much California light. It's
why
not my
you
fault.
gotta be mean to the viewers, man? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they're jealous of my vitamin D that I'm getting in my life. But like, what am I gonna do, man? What am I gonna do? I need to get like a backdrop so I could block it off. But hey, we're not there yet. We got a premium membership. We got a backdrop.
There you go. More premium.
Get a year-long
subscription. Yeah.
Jake and I will be fucking bald. We'll wear suits every day if you want. If you want to buy some premium memberships, we'll get backdrops and we'll wear fancy boy suits.
Absolutely.
Any interest in Stephen Wright tonight? He's actually projected to be pretty highly owned for what he is. What do you think about his chances of success?
So he's a reliever. I didn't have him going very long, unless I just missed something. I don't think he's had an outing over a couple innings so far this year, but am I just completely off on that? Because now I'm rethinking it.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't know. I don't have the info in front of me. It would take too long to load for me right now.
Yeah, my computer's going really slow. I got like 36 tabs up.
Let's see. I'll put it up on my phone on DK. We'll look real fast. Come on, DK. Let's see. Right.
Oh, that's right. He's a knuckleball.
Yes.
That's right.
He has not had a game scoring over 14 points this year. He has games where he's thrown 49, 68, 18, 40, 20, and 56 pitches. So
56
not too great. High? Yes. So I think there was one with 60-something, but yeah, that's the high.
Okay. So he's like a middle reliever. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So I just don't think he's gonna go very long. That's the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's not a pitcher that I want to go to today.
Yeah, the Oilers shirt. This is a McDavid jersey, so just the goat. I only have goats on my jerseys, so I got a Taylor Hall jersey as well. Those are the two best.
I only have goats. I only have goats on my jerseys. Is a sentence that hurt me inside to hear.
That's how we millennials talk.
Fair enough. I'll allow you that, even though that might not be the case. If only we could do polls. Josh can apparently do polls on his software, and he can ask people that. He could confirm that that's cool millennial talk.
Why aren't we doing polls on this?
I don't know. Well, apparently we're going to start doing it soon. We're going to start giving all sorts of polls. We're going to be polling about everything.
Polls are awesome for people. Get the viewers involved outside of the chat. Let them speak their voice on some stuff. I
agree. So hopefully soon we'll have polls. Tomorrow, though, we will have Awesome. So that's something. He's not a poll, though. He's a human being. He's a human adult.
Yeah. More valuable than a poll, I should say.
Hopefully not his poll. That's right. They took away the swimsuit competition from the pageant. That is a tough one. I think Jake would win the swimsuit competition. I think I would finish ahead of Josh. We're willing to experiment. Tough. I mean, that's the thing. It's empowering because we as men can take that back and we can be like, look, see, it's okay. So maybe, Alex, I think our boss putting us in swimsuits would be quite the career turn.
Just tell me. I just need to prepare. If you're gonna just give me 2 weeks notice, so I can do a cleansing diet or something.
Cut out some carbs.
Yeah.
Would you go Stripling or Newcomb if you had the choice? I would go Newcomb.
Newcomb.
Yeah. I think we're in agreement. Any chance Estrada does well tonight?
It's baseball. We talked about it, or you guys talked about it last night, or was that me with?
Yep. I think we talk about it pretty often. The world of variance, the wonderful world of variance.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's a chance that he does well tonight. Would I play him? I don't think even if he does well, it's going to be, I think, 5 innings and he strikes out 3 and gives up 2 earned runs. He's not a guy that is Luis Castillo where he's got a very wide range of outcomes. I don't think, as far as positive outcomes go.
Right. I think his best possible outcome is, again, like you mentioned, like Mike Fiers yesterday, where maybe he's okay, right, and that's about it.
Yeah, agreed. There's a chance he gets hit by lightning. That's yeah.
Yeah, you could have a congenital heart defect that pops up during the game, like when Homer beat Dredrick Tatum on The Simpsons. So there is a chance that something like that happens. It's not impossible, but whatever.
We've achieved.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was like a 4:10 one again. That one yesterday threw me for a loop because all of a sudden it was for 7:10 East Coast time. So bizarre. I don't know why that would happen for just one day. Fucks with my head. Yeah. All right, we're locked. We don't. And any good questions left? I'll give you guys a 30-second warning to get a good question in. That's important. It doesn't involve us fighting each other. I don't know why it has to be fighting each other and fucking. Why is it fighting in swimsuits? What happened to Chick-fil-A and shit? We used to have fun.
Well, we tube and stuff in swimsuits. That's what I'm looking forward to putting a swimsuit on for. You tube, you lay out.
That's one of our shame bets. Would be the next time that we have an opportunity for that, where whoever loses that bet has to wear a swimsuit on the on the show. That'd be a tough shame bet, though. That's a tough one to start that with.
That's not even a shame bet, though. You just whatever. You're not wearing a shirt, or you can get a one piece.
Like a women's bathing suit.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
I would say that putting that on the internet would be slightly shameful to me. I don't know. That's not my idea.
Just a little different feel, That's about it.
All right. Wow, Jake, learning so much about you in the waning minutes of the chat. Put on a bikini top. Let's go.
I'm open to it. Yeah, I'm open to it.
LeBron wins back-to-back tomorrow or swept. I think LeBron wins tomorrow. I think they win Game 3 and then that's it.
Man, I think they win Game 3. Dude, I am so mad that how the end of Game 1 went.
Oh, yeah. It was such a downer. I mean, LeBron deserved that. For J.R. Smith to J.R. Smith that much at that time, it's painful. I felt so bad for him watching that video, of the reactions.
Yeah, I felt bad right away. I was like, oh, this is going to be a thing, isn't it? Because everybody's had that moment. Maybe not that on that grand of a stage, but Jeff Green misses the free throw. If he just makes that free throw, even if the Warriors still win, no one's getting the blame. So that's too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I want the series to be competitive. Like, I'm hoping that they can somehow find a way to it. It's just hard. It's hard to see it after watching the games, and they didn't win the one game they had a shot to win. Like, you just can't give a game away like that. It's just not. It's not helpful to give games away in the NBA Finals. That is the time where you really want to win when you can win.
Yeah.
Also, yes, Robert Park. That MVP chant at J.R. Smith was one of the best.
Oh God.
Like, if you're gonna get in somebody's head, that is one of the best possible outcomes, I think, of that chant. Was oof. He was rattled that whole time. Ryan Shearer, thank you, Ryan Shearer, for defending us. Spencer's been a little bitch today, Spencer. Why don't you take it easy? Why don't you be nice? It's a positive environment. Like, I don't know why. Don't bring out the demons in me.
Yeah.
Would you go? I guess late slate, whatever. Upton or Conforto? Would you go? Which of those? I don't know if it's up. I don't even know if it's a late slate question. It's just a question.
Upton or Conforto? Vacuum. I go Conforto.
I'm gonna agree with that. Conforto for me too.
Scherzer's already dealing.
Well, there you go. I mean, look, the odds of that happening were pretty high, but the Rays maybe will be competent. Who knows? They're not as terrible as they seem.
Yeah, it's 2 strikeouts and 2 batters.
They're pretty terrible, I guess, in this particular circumstance. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you do it. Like the videos, but subscribe, especially so that way you know whenever we go live, whenever there's a new night shift video from Jake or podcast from Jake, whenever there's a new MLB DFS strategy video, or when we go live tomorrow with Alex Osimo Baker, our founder and the best DFS player in the world. We'll be doing that tomorrow at 6:15 Eastern, so make sure you're subscribed and tuned in. If you're not an Osmo.com premium member, make sure you're doing that. Ownership projections, rankings across a ton of sports if you're doing the all-sport package. So make sure you're a part of that, because a lot of the questions you have are answered by just clicking something on the website and not having to deal with our bullshit to get there. So go do that and sign up. And do you have anything else on your end, Jake?
No, guys, good luck. If you faded Max Scherzer, RIP.
Well, that means RP for me and maybe some of you out there, but good luck tonight. If not, we'll see you guys again soon.